Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and just general Chelsea news update, general chat about it. There's been a few bits and pieces going on over the last 24 hours or so. We've got the latest, we've got more information about a potential new contract for Conor Gallagher or lack of, and the potential plan for him, what he might be demanding, what he might not be demanding. So we're going to dive into that again. We've got the latest on Chelsea making a move for Sam Jewell, who is Brighton's head of recruitment. Ironically, the guy that actually replaced Paul Winstanley. Man United are also interested in him as well, as they look to build their new football department under Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. We've also got the latest news with Chelsea set to appoint Josh Marsh, a new loans manager. Obviously, recruitment. He's head of football operations at Swansea. So, yeah, again, we could do with a new loan manager, to be honest, because the loans have not been great so far this season. And then, obviously, we've also got, David Ornstein said in the last sort of half hour or so that Kylian Mbappe has communicated his decision to PSG and he will be leaving in the summer. And then within 10 minutes of that, you get Jason Burton, the Telegraph, saying that PSG could move for Osimhen. We knew that anyway. We knew that anyway. We knew that anyway, so yeah, it's kind of it's one of them, isn't it? There's going to be top competition for these players. Osimhen's, I think privately anyway, at least stated that his next move in his career is mapped out. So whether that means PSG, whether that means Chelsea, whether it means the Premier League, Arsenal, who knows what it could mean? He could mug us all off and just fuck off to Saudi. You don't know, but I'd expect him to come to the Premier League. But yeah, now with Kylian Mbappe officially leaving, that kind of now sets the merry-go-round into motion in terms of the top striker and Osimhen being available this summer. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Another big up to everyone that's locked in already. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new round here as well. We're about 70 subscribers away now from 8K. So we need to get there as quickly as possible, guys. That needs to be reached before the cup final. Should be light work, really. So make sure you are hitting that like button. Make sure you are subscribing as well. And let's say hello to a few people, and then we'll dive into things and have a bit of a chat. Stuart, how's it going? It's pointless getting involved at the moment. I was too depressed with the ownership. I wouldn't say they're second-rate personnel, and we'll dive into it. And I'll explain why. I can understand. Can we stop raiding Brighton? Well, look, Man United want this guy as well. Reece James posted something on his, pair of boots, the standard thing. Maybe he's back outside doing a bit of running or something, but it's still very early in the rehabilitation and the recovery phase. So I wouldn't be getting too excited about that. Potentially. Obviously, we're facing competition from Man United as well. So let's wait and see what happens with that. I'm going to go into this and explain why I don't think, you can't just take it for face value. This appointment, we're going to Brighton. It's another shit appointment. I'll explain why. We're going to dive into it once I said hello to a few people. Yes, big up. Owners are shocking. Fair enough. Should just buy Brighton. It could happen. Of course, Osimhen to PSG could happen. He's going to have a lot of top clubs after him. So yeah, there's obviously a lot of top clubs that could go for him. Of course, there are. Yes, big up. What's your feeling ahead of Man City game? Absolutely not another 4-4. I could see us potentially conceding 4, but I don't see us scoring 4. Oh, here he is. Here he is, the Evening Standards, Mr. Dom Smith. What a guy. All going well, mate. I can imagine that's definitely a sarcastic comment on the hat, but I appreciate it anyway. What are we saying here? I need a cup final. Bro, I need a cup final ticket as well. By the way, if anyone wants to help me try and find a cup final ticket, that would be greatly appreciated. I'd be eternally grateful for that. But yeah, at the moment, I'm not really in a position to help anyone else out right now because I haven't even got one myself. So hopefully I can sort that out. Yes, big up, brother. Why didn't the Chelsea owners just buy Brighton? I don't know. That's the question you'll have to ask them. Yes, big up, bro. No, Gusto not injured either. He is back into training, which is good news. As Poch said after the game anyway, he was just tired. So it's good to see that is the case and it wasn't sort of a cover-up or anything along those lines, which, is good news 100%, people. It's great news. But let's dive into the main news from today then, obviously involving Chelsea's approach to Brighton for Sam Jewell. Obviously, he's the head of recruitment at Brighton. He replaced Paul Winstanley. But it would appear that he would have a different role at Chelsea. I think it would be like head of global scouting in terms of the job offer. So it'll be across the multi-club model. But Chelsea have made their move for Sam Jewell now amid fears that Dan Ashworth will take Jewell with him to Man United. As yet, it is understood that no final decision has been made by Jewell, and staying at Brighton is also an option. Obviously, I'm not going to lie, I don't really know anything about this geezer. Obviously good at what he does. You don't have Man United and Chelsea after you if you're shit at what you do. And whether you like it or not, Brighton are a very well run football club. They get things right. Their recruitment spot on. The way they operate as a club is second to none. So of course, their personnel are going to be linked with bigger clubs. That's just that's the reality, and that's how it goes. Now, I see a lot of people, whether it's content creators, fans themselves on Twitter, do you know what? It's okay whether you're a journalist, content creator, fan, whatever you are. It's not a crime, guys, to say you don't know about someone or something, And it's also not a problem if you don't have a strong opinion on something either. There's no point being angry or happy about a decision just for the sake of it. And it's very funny that, all of a sudden, people have suddenly become an expert on a position they didn't even know existed a few hours ago. And then they also feel qualified to judge someone they couldn't have picked out in the street a few hours ago. So, yeah, look, I get it. On the face of it, optics don't look that great in terms of, we're going to raid Brighton again. But just because someone's coming from a lesser club, it doesn't mean they're not good at their job. It doesn't mean they're not good at their job. It doesn't mean that they don't know what they're doing. So I just think, if you don't know about something, it's okay not to comment on it. You don't have to have a strong opinion either way. It's okay not to really have an opinion as well. I don't understand how people can suddenly have such a strong feeling on a potential appointment of Sam Jewell when earlier today they'd never even heard of him. They didn't even know the position existed at the football club that we were potentially looking to recruit him for. And now all of a sudden, it's mid this, mid that. We know we're falling apart. Mid-table appointments mean mid-table finishes. We're finished. Like, no one even knows what this guy does. So I just think we need to rein it in a little bit. Just relax. I get it. Winstanley and Stewart, they've not been that great. But I would potentially look at an appointment like this as a potential positive. Over the last 18 months, we've seen that Chelsea are becoming, very focused on recruiting from South America. There's a lot of talent in that market. And, Sam Jewell was heavily involved in recruiting Alexis McAllister and recruiting Moises Caicedo, Facundo, Buonanotte, I think he's called, and obviously Enciso as well during his time at Brighton. And he can speak Spanish. I was doing some reading. He learnt that during lockdown so he could improve his communication with those players and their families in South America. And then if you sort of throw that into the mix as well, people, that the fact that Chelsea have now got a multi-club model, you can maybe start to see how this potentially fits together and then how a pathway can be sold to these players over a longer term. Look, I'm impressed by the news. I hope he does join the club. He's clearly good at what he does. But at the same time, I'm glad to see that this is being done. But you sort of wonder why a potential appointment like this, which has obviously been needed, is taking so long. Why is that position not already filled? I don't really get it. It's clear that there's not been enough football people within the structure. It's clear that Winstanley and Stewart have been calling all the shots. Obviously, it remains to be seen whether, if Sam Jewell does come, would he actually have more of a say than Winstanley and Stewart, or would he just be reporting to them? I don't really know what the answer is on that front. But the offer from Chelsea, people, as I was saying before, is understood to be as a head of, I think it's head of global recruitment. Let me bring this up. Yeah, Sam Jewell's offer at Chelsea is understood to be a global scouting role in charge of negotiations for both Chelsea and Strasbourg, also owned by Eghbali and Bowley Consortium. It's not clear yet whether Jewell has made a final decision. Now, obviously, Jewell has obviously got a good working relationship with Dan Ashworth, Newcastle, I think, and is obviously, Man United are working very hard to get him. They want him now. They're probably likely to get him. So, look, he could follow Ashworth to Man United. He's obviously got a working relationship with Winstanley. He replaced Winstanley at Brighton. And obviously the offer to come to Chelsea is, be a global scouting role. That could potentially appeal to him as well. Or you could just put the middle finger up to both those offers and stick at Brighton for a little bit longer. We don't really know what he's going to do, but I think it's good that these appointments are looking to be made. We are trying to sort that out. It's something that, in my opinion, should have been sorted out long before this. But yeah, I mean, it's better late than never, I suppose. He's clearly good. Alongside the scouting role on the global side for Chelsea and Strasbourg, he's also he'll also be a specialist negotiator. And if our negotiations are anything to go by on certain deals last summer, then I think we could probably do with a helping hand in the negotiating department. But I just hope there's a proper chain of command and that each role is clearly defined. We don't just want it to be another cook in the kitchen, too many opinions, too many voices, too many people making decisions on things, too many people trying to agree on things. We need there to be a clear chain of command. We need there to be clear defined roles for each individual, and then who they feed back to, and then decisions can be taken then. We just don't want to put too many cooks in the kitchen and then just fucking ruin everything. So yeah, look, I don't look at this as a potentially bad appointment. I think you've got to be open-minded about these things, in my opinion. And as I said earlier, it's okay, guys, not to know about someone or something. And look, I'm not going to come on here and say that I've never heard of this guy. I'm not going to come in here and slam the appointment because I don't know I don't know what he's going to be like. It's obviously going to be a different role. He's clearly good at what he does because Man United also want him. And I just think we should be a little bit more reserved and not just go steaming in with a criticism, because I get it optically because of how often we've gone back to Brighton recently with the players we've signed, the coaching staff, the directors, etc. We've taken a lot of personnel from Brighton over the last sort of 18 months to 2 years. I get it from an optics point of view that probably doesn't look great. But ultimately, at the same time, as I said, Brighton are a very well-run football club, and their personnel are going to be high in demand. That's just the reality of the situation, guys. That is the reality. So yeah, that's all I can say really on that front. What are people saying in the chat? I don't want. Well, I think De Zerbi's probably been linked with the United job, but they want this guy as well. Well, look, ultimately, as I've said, it's one of those, isn't it? When a football club's well run, their personnel are going to be in demand, and bigger teams are going to go to Brighton. Obviously, it's unfortunate optically for us that it doesn't look great when you go back to Brighton yet again for more personnel. Yeah, no, it was all good. Thank you, bro. All good. I don't know. Maybe they've been waiting to appoint the right person. Maybe the position's not been available until now. I don't know. I don't know why now, but I would have thought that this would have been a position that would have needed to be filled long before this. But as I said, it probably is always better that late than never. Do you think Chelsea will bring experience? Do you think he'll bring experienced players to Chelsea team in the summer? I don't know. I think Brighton's a brilliant run club, and every guy appointed there has more experience than any guy behind the scenes at our club. Yeah, I could potentially agree with that. Time to sign more? No, I don't think that's going to be the case. We also need someone like John Terry in the position of a technical advisor so that he can be a sort of mediator between scout and what the team needs. I'll be honest, I'm surprised that John Terry has not been given a role in the first team setup, or maybe he has and he prefers to work in the academy. But I'd be shocked if we hadn't given him a role within the within the first team setup, because it just makes sense to have him knocking about the place. By the way, guys, only 21 likes. Let's get this up to 50 likes as quickly as we possibly can. 35 in the building, 21 likes. We need more than that. We need more than that. So if you've not smashed the like button, guys, I'm not asking for any money from anyone. Just please run the likes up. It's free. It takes seconds, and it would be really, really greatly appreciated if you could smash the like button if you haven't done so. We're going to get into that. Yeah, Glasner's new manager of Crystal Palace. I wouldn't know about taking their recruitment boss, but I would take De Zerbi in a heartbeat. He's worked with Mudryk and promised he will take him high. He's worked with. Look, De Zerbi is a good manager. I don't know if he's perhaps a tad overrated or not. That's a different question. But yeah, look, let's wait and see. I mean, ultimately, I hope that Pochettino turns it round and is here next season, because I don't think we can deal with having more turmoil and another change in manager. I remember Nagelsmann wanted to bring JT in if he got the Chelsea job. I'd forgotten about that. I actually can't remember if that was the case or not. But yeah, look, JT, it would be good to have JT around the place as a first team, as part of the first team coaching staff or as part of the first team setup. But yeah, I mean, I don't really think I've got too much more to add on this Sam Jewell situation. There's an offer from Chelsea. There's bound to be an offer from Man United as well. And then it's going to be down to him to decide what he wants to do ultimately. But it is really important that we do get these appointments sorted out and that we do appoint the right people. That for me is key. We're seeing Man United now under Ineos making a strong recruitment drive in these positions in a footballing structure and going for top personnel. It looks like they're going to go and get Dan Ashworth out of Newcastle, very highly rated. They could be adding Sam Jewell. They're looking at Jason Wilcox, very, very highly rated down at Southampton. Can't be, but according to our fan base, no, he can't be any good because he's from Southampton. Like, imagine the uproar if Chelsea were going to go and get Jason Wilcox from Southampton as a director of football. Imagine the uproar. I'm not seeing too much uproar with Man United going for Jason Wilcox. You're highly rated. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you're good at what you do, I don't care where you come from. And I think people have just got to be a little bit more open-minded about these things and not be so quick to dismiss people that they've never even heard of before these stories had come out. I just think we've got to be a little bit more open-minded. As I've said, I understand that optically it doesn't look amazing that they're going back to Brighton again. Wilcox was also at Man City before he went to Southampton in a more senior role. These are good footballing people. Man United are making great strides though. They brought in Omar Barada from Man City. Dan Ashworth looks like he's on his way. Sam Jewell could be on his way as well. And then obviously Jason Wilcox at Southampton. If they were to get all those guys, that's a serious little setup that is starting to take place at Old Trafford, and it's something that we need to be, keeping an eye on and doing a similar thing. We need to get these positions right. We don't want to have too many people, but there needs to be clear, defined roles for each person, and a proper chain of command. Nothing that's going to confuse everything. Nobody knows who Man City's are, and they're doing a fantastic job. Yep, I agree with that. Sam Jewell, the crown jewel for Chelsea's owners. He could well be the crown jewel. But look, I think he's a. Look, I'd never heard of the guy before, but he's obviously clearly good at what he does. And if we can get him, then I think that would be a good asset to. I think that'd be a good asset to Chelsea. I really do. Obviously, time will tell whether it's going to be a good appointment or not. But you always go into these things with open minds and wanting things to work out for the best. So yeah, I don't have a problem really with any of these potential appointments or potential appointments, because I guess I trust the people in charge to a degree. But yeah, we need to start getting these appointments right. That's the key thing. These appointments have got to start being gotten right, because we can't really waste time and keep getting these things wrong. But let's move away from a potential appointment at Chelsea. So into an appointment that is imminent. It's going to happen. Chelsea have appointed a new loans manager. Now, I think Claude Makelele was there before in some capacity in the loans department. David Ornstein reporting last night in an exclusive that Chelsea are set to appoint Josh Marsh as loans manager. Recruitment of Swansea, head of football operations, led by Chelsea sporting directors Winstanley and Stewart alongside loan player technical coach Cudicini, and he's due to start in March. Look, again, I don't know anything about this guy, but it's good to see, as Matisse has replied underneath, it's good to see someone in this role, because the loans this season have been pretty much nothing short of shambolic. You know, we need to get on top of the loans. There's been too many loans that have not worked out, too many loans that have just been an outright disaster. And we need to make a massive improvement in that department in terms of doing more due diligence, getting things right. And again, just because this person's come from Swansea doesn't mean they're not any good. There's obviously been some sort of process put in place that has led Chelsea to this individual. He's obviously got a good body of work, whether it's at Swansea or wherever he was before. And let's just give the guy a chance. None of us had ever heard of this guy or even knew that Chelsea were looking for a new loans manager before this news was broken last night. And then, yeah, I'm seeing everybody say that it's a shit appointment. He's mid. We're appointing mid-table people. We're going to get mid-table results and all this sort of thing. I'm just thinking, guys, let's just rein this in a little bit. Let's rein it in a little bit. You know, this guy could be good. And ultimately, as long as our loan system is sorted out and it works better, then yeah, you know, I haven't got a problem with these appointments. And I'm not in a position on here to say that I think these are good or bad appointments, because I'd never heard of these two people before today and last night. I never even knew that the roles that they're going to be given even existed at Chelsea. You know, we were even looking for it. So yeah, for me, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. And speaking of good luck, someone's just messaged me asking about a cup final ticket. Let me just quickly get back to this. Yeah, look, loans manager, something that needs to be sorted. The loan system is really important. Chelsea have used it very well over the years. So yeah, look, this can only be a good thing for me. As I said, this can only be a good thing for me, because what's been happening with the loans this year is a massive problem. It's been really shit. At least owners are doing something. Yeah, at least it looks like something's trying to be sorted out. At least you got some money from Joao Felix and Pulisic. We didn't get any money from them. Felix was on loan, so he went back. And Pulisic, we got some money. What's happening with Ziyech, Lukaku, and Kepa? Ziyech, I think the Ziyech thing was a loan with an obligation to buy, but it was like for nothing. So we basically given him away for free, I think. So I don't think Ziyech will be coming back. Lukaku, there's a 37 million euros clause in the contract to make his move permanent. So hopefully Roma take that up. And then Kepa's going to come back. He'll have a year left on his contract, and they're going to have to hope we can shift him, because he's certainly not getting a new deal at Chelsea. What else have we got going on here? We're raiding Brighton with nothing. No, look, again, it's not about whether they've won stuff. It's, look, if these guys are good enough for the job, then that's fine by me. How do you know if someone is good or bad just basing it off what club they're at? You don't. This is the thing. You don't know. And look how many players that have come from lesser clubs, or managers that have started at lesser clubs, or directors or people that are very successful at what they do started off at lesser clubs. You know, that's how you start. People don't just walk in for the top. You don't walk in and start at the top, or very rarely does that happen. So I don't really see this as an issue. So Brighton pulling our pants down again. I don't think so. Apparently we're getting again. I don't think that geezer exists. What else are we going? Chloe, the way I see it is that to Josh, it's like a promotion, which means he's already excelled in what's needed from him at Swansea. Yeah, look, this is how we need to look at things. Like, he's obviously done really well in this job, which means that a bigger job is coming for him in a bigger club. That's how these things work. you do well, you get spotted by a bigger club, and you get offered a better job. You know, he's not been offered this job because he's done shit at what he's done. He's obviously here because he's obviously found himself in this position because he's done well at Swansea and wherever he's been before. And now he needs to work towards a stand. Yeah, exactly this, guys. There's loads of things coming in the chat. I can't read all this out. What we got here? Prediction for the Man City game going to be a draw. I think that's very optimistic. We're becoming a lesser club. Yeah, well, this is it. Like, obviously, we took Peter Kenyon from Man United back in 2004-05. You know, yeah, we absolutely did do that. But I don't know if Chelsea right now are in a position to be going to, like, we're not going to be able to go to a Man United or a Man City or whatever and just be like, oh, we want this guy. You know, I'm not sure that we're in that position right now as a team. Ashford, a former PE teacher, fair enough. I don't think we're going to lose 4-0, but yeah, it could be peak for us. But yeah, guys, keep smashing the like button. There's 77 in the building, but there's only 33 likes. Only 33 likes, guys. So please make sure that you are smashing that like button. Run it up, people. We need to hit 50 likes minimum. No excuses, guys. No excuses whatsoever. There's 74 in there. There's definitely 15 of you that have not smashed the like button, and there's definitely a few of you that haven't subscribed either. Guys, we're edging ever closer to 8,000. Make sure that you're subscribed if you are new around here. I'm on 7,927. Let's get this to 7,930. Another 3 subscribers would be massively appreciated if we could get that today. So let's get it done, guys. No excuses whatsoever. Real Charlie, with what he said there, if you do well at a small club, big clubs will offer you, and you can't say no to that. No, exactly, you can't. Triple captains Haaland this week, so we could win 5-4 with 4 Haaland goals. Yeah, we're not asking for too much there, brother. Not asking for too much. It's a huge mistake, Gallagher not getting a new contract, especially if Thiago Silva definitely leaves. Look, let's move on to Conor Gallagher then. I've said what I need to say about these potential, obviously the appointment of the new loans manager from Swansea, Josh Marsh, and then potential appointment of Sam Jules from Brighton as a kind of a global scout and a negotiator. Let's wait and see what happens on that front with Sam Jules. He's got a choice: stay at Brighton or go to Man United or go to Chelsea. So let's have a look. Again, let's dive into a little bit of breaking news in regards to Reece James. Now, obviously, we did have Reece put a little picture up on Instagram of a pair of boots, obviously suggesting that he was going to be, stepping up his recovery a little bit. And breaking news now, Reece James is targeting a return to full training within a month and wants to be part of Chelsea's run-in, although the club are mindful of rushing him back. Yeah, I would agree that is obviously, we don't want to be rushing this guy back. We know what his injury record's been like. I know he's desperate to get back playing and wants to help the team out. But yeah, I can't really see how he's, we just can't rush this. As much as he wants to be back and he wants to be playing football, like, there's no rush to get him back. So for me, we just got to take as much care with Reece as we possibly can. We've been down this road before and we've just rushed him back way too quickly in previous seasons. Obviously, we need to just make sure that we need to make sure the rehab is absolutely spot on, and make sure that everything's as strong as it possibly can be. Reece is in the best physical condition that he can possibly be in. No, again, that's not what the article's saying. It's obviously just said that PSG could make a move for Victor Osimhen. Now, we knew that anyway. If Mbappe was leaving, they're going to look for a big signing, and there's not many bigger than Victor Osimhen at this point in time in the market. So that was obviously going to be a thing, but it's not saying anything that he's definitely off to PSG. Yeah, guys, keep smashing the like button, people. Come on, let's run it up, run it up, run it up. 45 likes, 76 in the building. So yeah, decent viewers in. Yeah, Osimhen's already come out and said that he's made up his mind. So I think it's clear. We had Ben Jacobs on not too long ago, and he seems pretty certain that Victor Osimhen's next destination would be the Premier League. Again, whether that's Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, we don't know. I'm going to be nervous when Reece James comes back. Yeah, I think we all are. But thank God we got Malo Gusto. Because right now there's no rush to get Reece back. We're not missing him as as much as we would have missed him in the past. If he keeps getting injured, do you think we should sell him? It's a really difficult one because he's such a good player. But I personally wouldn't. But I think there's definitely a conversation to be had that if he were to return from injury this time and within sort of 4 or 5 games break down again and have another extended spell on the sidelines, then there's definitely a more serious conversation to be had. But I think right now we've got to keep our fingers crossed. Reece is an exceptional player and hope that this surgery is going to fix him and is going to sort it out, and we're not going to have too many more issues with him. Let's hope so. Arsenal will win. Yeah, they're not going to win anything. Yeah. No, he's not back in training today. He just took a photo of his boots, and he was obviously probably just doing some individual work, whether it was a bit of jogging on the grass or whatever it might be. But he's not back in training. What else is going on here? No, he didn't have a good African Cup of Nations. That's absolutely right. But you shouldn't judge a player off one tournament. He's obviously better than that. I don't trust Reece to keep fit. I'd rather we keep starting Gusto. No, look. Ultimately, it's hard to trust Reece to stay fit given his recent record. But I think we've just got to have faith in him. He loves this football club. He's the captain, and we've got to get behind him and stick by him. Yeah, potentially. I mean, he's much better positioned than I am to know about the footballing finances. If anyone knows about that, it's going to be Ben. So yeah, I mean, look, if he's reported it, then I think there's there's definitely some legs to it, and more than likely a large amount of truth in it. Better focus on Santiago Jimenez from final. Well, look, for me, it's obvious you go for Ivan Toney, but I don't see Chelsea doing that. I really don't. He was voted African best player. He was voted African best player. Again, look, I don't know if Nigeria's way of playing was really set up to get the best out of him. But yeah, look, it was an underwhelming tournament. There's no denying it. I totally disagree with that. That is not going to happen. That absolutely won't happen. But yeah, look, that's good news that Reece James is targeting a return to full training within a month. But yeah, let's just make sure we've got to be really cautious. So yeah, let's make sure that we don't sort of do anything stupid, bring him back too soon, and then he breaks down again. So yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. But it's good. It is good that it's good. It's some positive news and a bit more of and it's our real first concrete update on Reece James that we've had in quite a while. So yeah, that is good news on that front. Guys, 84 in the building, still not hit 50 likes. We're on 49. People that have just tuned in now, keep smashing the like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. And it really, really helps me out more than you could ever imagine. So make sure that you are running the likes up. I think we can easily hit 70, 80 likes tonight. So keep hitting the like button, guys. It really helps me out. And please do subscribe if you're new around here as well. What centre-back would I go for? Again, that's tricky as well. I mean, someone like an Ousmane Diamonde is very talented. I'm a big fan of his. Antonio Silva at Benfica is also very good. But then if you're looking for a more experienced option, potentially someone like Jonathan Tah at Bayer Leverkusen, I like him. There's a lot of options out there. Well, yeah, I mean, if he's targeting it full training within a month, it'll be sort of middle of March, end of March. So yeah, I don't see why not. What are your thoughts on only having? No, it doesn't work like that. But again, people they see this stuff and they think, they get scared by it. We've got Ian Martin with a £35 million release clause. If he keeps playing as well, he keeps up his form at Dortmund for the remainder of the season, that's no problem there. That's £35 million. If Lukaku keeps up his form, there's another £35 million there. That's 70. And then you're looking for £30 million from Chalobah, Broja, as two, and there's your 100 million. That is not difficult to raise with the assets that we've got. Look, he absolutely can, but I still think we are going to go and look for another centre half. I think that's definitely going to happen. We are going to go and look for another centre half. Oh yeah, of course, I forgot about Lewis Hall. £28 million obligation to join Newcastle will become valid at the end of the season. Yes, hope you're doing well, bro. Well, we'll wait and see. We were promised more experienced players, and they might make a change to the model in certain circumstances. Let's hope so. Keep Conor. He's minerals. Or yeah, I mean, we'll get into that in a sec. Antonio Silva. Yeah, look, I'll be real. Alphonso Davies, not happening. He's either going to sign for Real Madrid or will stay at Bayern Munich. I just can't see Chelsea getting him. Osimhen, I still think Osimhen is the most likely to arrive. I still do believe that to be the case. But yeah, you just never know, people. You just do never know. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens on that front. Yeah, Lewis Hall's barely played at Newcastle. I don't really know why that's been the case, but yeah, it's not ideal that he has hardly played. That is the reality of the situation, people. But yeah, Reece James targeting a return to full training within a month. This is good news, guys. Good news. And our first proper update on Reece for a while, really. So yeah, pleased to see that, but make sure we do not rush him back. Don't rush him back. But yeah, look, let's move on to the Conor Gallagher stuff. And there's been a bit more news on him. What are people saying here? Striker is top priority. I would agree that striker is definitely top priority. 100%. There's no denying that. We need 3 key signings. I would probably agree on that as well. Absolutely. I think it'll be striker top priority, then a centre back, and then a left back. I think those are the 3 areas that if we can address in the summer, then perfect. And then anything else will have to be a 1 in, 1 out situation. What else are we looking at? If we get big striker, can this? Yeah, let's hope so. I prefer for Chelsea's debt to be all cleared first. We haven't got any. I don't think we've got any debt. The club was debt free. Maybe I don't know if it is anymore. Alphonso Davies. Yeah, he said that he's a Chelsea fan. But again, let's have a look. What are the pros and cons on keeping or selling Conor? Well, I suppose pros from a financial perspective is it's pure profit on the books, so it helps us out. But that's pretty much the only pro. For me, for footballing reasons, there's not really any pros. Selling him sets a bad example, and then we have to go and spend probably more to go and replace him. What else have we got? In case I missed it, look, I'd keep him. I would absolutely keep him. We've got obviously other players that we can bring that we can get decent money in for. So yeah, I don't see a issue. I don't see an issue with that at all. There's no reason for him to be sold, in my opinion. He's doing really well. There's a role in the squad for him. I'm not saying that he should be starting every week. Right now, he's obviously making it very difficult to not start every week with his form. But he's someone that loves this football club, gets it. He wants to be here. The manager wants him to be here. The only people that seemingly don't want him here are the ownership. And we just need to learn from our mistakes. We've been down this road before, Mason Mount. We had it with Rudiger and Christensen, players running contracts down. Like, this needs to be sorted. This is very simple to sort out. And we've got other players that we can sell to make money. We've got Martin that would be pure profit. We've got Chalobah that would be pure profit. We've got, obviously, Amanda Broya, that would be pure profit as well. So yeah, this shit doesn't make sense to me. I'm not saying Gallagher's like this unbelievable, amazing footballer, but he has a role to play at Chelsea. Right now, it's an important role, but he can be a squad player, and players like him are absolutely worth their weight in gold to squads. You know, he might not be a starter every week, but what he does give you is really, really important. You know, if he can add these goals that he's added in the last couple of games to his game on a more regular basis, his importance to the team and the squad, it shoots right up. But you know, right now the tenacity and the work rate and stuff, for me, that's not quite enough to warrant starting every week. But yeah, if you can add the goals and the end product on a more regular basis, then yeah, that massively changes his importance. But yeah, I would 100% be keeping him. Let's hope we don't end up with John Duran. Let's hope not. Evan Ferguson's a good player. We have enough players to easily balance the books. Yeah, no, we do. Oh, look, De Zerbi, Liverpool might look at him. Look, he's a good manager. You know, he's kind of flavour of the month at the moment. Yeah, look, maybe he won't be at Brighton next season. Maybe he goes to Liverpool. Maybe he goes to Barcelona, or maybe he just stays at Brighton. Who knows? No, I think there is substance potentially. We know the owners want to get rid of him. That much is obvious. And the longer he doesn't sign a contract for, then the more these rumours are going to go on and on and on. With a striker, Nkunku will play in the Gallagher role, and there's Chukwuemeka too. No, I think he stays because he can. He's got an important role to play in the squad. I absolutely believe that he does have an important role to play in the squad. So let's wait and see. Yeah, he's been good. No, Caicedo has been a lot better than people make him out to be. He absolutely has been. The Zerbi, he's not 43. Look, again, people need to take this into context. The Zerbi's not been managing clubs that should be winning and competing at the top. He was at Sassuolo in Serie A. All right, Shakhtar, he was at obviously the best club in Ukraine. Fair enough. And then he's been at Brighton in the Premier League, which is not expected to win things. So when you look at him, it's not a good argument when you just put a manager's win percentage up there, because you have to look at the teams that he's been at. If he'd managed Man City, Chelsea, and Real Madrid and his win percentage was 43, then you'd be like, yeah, okay, maybe this guy's not it. No, I'll have a look at that. No, he absolutely isn't. Yes, I think he will. I think this will get sorted out. Maybe it will happen. Maybe it won't. They've got Kolo Muani. They've got Gonzalo Ramos. I don't know whether they need him or not. Let's have a look. But yeah, let's get into this Gallagher stuff then. Right. Let's dive into what we're seeing here. So, first of all, in this Athletic article, the reality is Conor Gallagher's vast improvement this season has been an unexpected development for Chelsea, who were not planning for him to become a key cog in their midfield when they committed more than 300 million in transfer fees last summer. Look, I think that's absolutely fair. I think it's been clear since day one, from when this ownership took over, that Conor Gallagher was not part of these plans. I think from day one, that much was clear, and maybe they should have sold him off. They should have looked to have sold him earlier, because there's a Fabrizio tweet. Let's have a look at this. What's being said here? Is it Chelsea related from Fabrizio? When did Fabrizio last tweet? Let's have a look. What's that? What's he saying? I've refreshing my page and it's and nothing's come up from him. Is this a wind up? I'm gonna have a quick look. But if people are winding me up in the chat, let's not do this, guys. No, we've got it's 100% over between Mbappe and PSG. Was his last tweet. Madrid are on it, and PSG have a specific plan already to replace him. If that's what you're referring to. Oh yeah, the YouTube Mbappe. Yeah. I will have a look at that. Gallagher holds the cards, really. He doesn't have to leave this summer. He can just stay until his contract runs out. Yeah, that's also That's also true. Don't think he's ever had an injury either. No, not that I can remember. And look, I think it's clear that his upturn in form this season has put a bit of a spanner in the works, because if he'd not been playing this well, then a sale of Gallagher would be attracting a lot less criticism and a lot less uproar amongst the vast majority of the fan base, because he hadn't really hit the levels at Chelsea, and he wasn't doing particularly well. But yeah, I don't know. It does make it more difficult now. They've been put into a difficult position here where he's actually doing really well. He's got importance to the team. He's adding value to the team right now. The manager loves him. And optically, it's not going to look good on this ownership when if they sell him. And so, yeah, they probably didn't plan for Gallagher to be having this much of an upturn in form this season, which now makes it difficult to sell him. I'm not saying Gallagher's going to spend his whole career at Chelsea, but he absolutely deserves a new contract. And whether that means that he only stays for a couple more years and then he's sold, then who knows? But yeah, it's obviously put a spanner in the works, this good form from him. We get away from that one. I mean, let's not get sucked into sort of ins and outs and demands and whatnot, because we've been down this road before. But is that the one there? So this is the update on Gallagher. Conor Gallagher's contract situation from Liam Toomey in The Athletic. Dialogue is open between the player representatives and the Chelsea sporting directors. It's not bitter like it was with Mason Mount. There is a significant chance an agreement could be reached if it remains open. However, there's no movement towards a new deal, and there's nothing on the table currently. The fact there's nothing on the table currently is a little bit concerning, because the clock is ticking on this. Come the end of the season, come the summer, it's 1 year left on the contract, just 1 year. And then, as we know, your value goes right down. You lose value. Look, I think this is very simple to sort out. Gallagher, within reason, would pretty much accept anything at Chelsea in terms of a contract offer. So I don't see an issue with like, it's not like what he'd be asking for potentially is ridiculous and excessive. It absolutely isn't. But we've been down this road before with Mason Mount. Make sure we don't get sucked in with the briefings. Oh, he's demanding this and that. He doesn't want to be at the club. He's making it difficult, for us to keep him. No, we know that Conor wants to stay. We know that the only reason that Conor leaves is if he doesn't feel wanted. And I could probably see that, he obviously feels wanted by the fans. He feels wanted by his teammates. I'd imagine he feels wanted by the manager. But if you're not wanted by the ownership, and ultimately those are the guys that are dealing with the contracts, then yeah, that it's a little bit difficult, isn't it? Problem is we spent 250 mil in our midfield, but Gallagher has been the best one. Yeah. Yes, we got 1 year or so remaining on his contract, and the club is selling. They won't let him go on a free, no. But basically, Gallagher's sold this summer, or it's a new deal. But those are the only two options. I mean, look, in theory, he could run his contract down, but I don't think he'd do that. Although he'd be well within his rights to do that. He'd be absolutely well within his rights to do that. I wouldn't have an issue with him doing that if the club are actively sort of shitting on him and making it difficult. But I mean, look, the Gallagher situation is what it is. It's a difficult one. So yeah, we obviously we wait and see. He's not stupid. Like I'm really surprised that they've not got round the table and tried to sort this out. Look, he's a Chelsea fan. He's been here since he was 7 or 8 years of age. Loves this football club. He's been captain. He's been captain on multiple occasions this season. Yeah, I don't get what. Look, the only thing is, right, and I said this the other day when I was live, is that it's because he's a homegrown player and because of the profit that it represents on the balance sheet. That is the only reason that this conversation's even happening. If he was a foreign player, or if he was someone that was signed a few years ago and his contract was coming up and he's playing like this, he's offered a new contract. The only thing that is appealing to selling Conor Gallagher and what this ownership is seeing are the pound signs in the eyes because it's a homegrown player. That is the reality of the situation. Enzo Caicedo, Gallagher, and Lavia. Yeah, that's good. That's a good quartet of midfielders. You've got 4 options for the pivot there. That's good. And across, hopefully European competition next season, there's going to be a lot of minutes to go around if we're competing on 4 fronts. So why would you sell Gallagher and then just spend that money to bring in someone younger? I just don't get it. Just think this: we're going to sell Conor and it'll weaken our squad because they won't replace him with anyone better. No, they probably won't. I don't know what the plan for Andre Santos is. I don't know what the plan for Cassidy is. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. We're going to see more and more of this with academy players that make it to the first team. The club will prioritise profit. It's tricky, isn't it? It is a tricky one. Guys, we're on 65 likes. Let's get this up to 70. 5 more likes required. There's still 74 in the building. Big yourselves up if you're still locked in. It's greatly appreciated. Let's get this as close to 100 likes as we can. So please keep hitting that that like button. And also, guys, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe as well. We're on 7,929. So let's try and get one more subscriber to get it to 7,930. That would be great. And then we'd be just 70 subscribers away from the 8K. And we need to get there before the cut final. That is the aim. So if you're locked in now and you're not subscribed, please just click the subscribe button. It's free and it massively helps me out. These owners will replace Gallagher with a kid that's unproven. I think they probably will. I think Chalobah will be sold next summer. Well, yeah, we absolutely will be. Absolutely will be. Yeah, I'll have a look, mate. I'm worried Gallagher will extend. Poch gets sacked after then. The next manager won't want to use him as much. Yep, there's always that case. Players that are popular under one manager might not be popular under the next one, and that's the reality. But if you're good enough, then I think whoever the manager is, you'll play. That for me is the reality of the situation. If you're good enough, then I think you play. With a year left on a contract, they won't get much for him. 40 mil max. Well, that brings me on to my next thing that I was going to open up. In terms of what they might get for Conor Gallagher, providing obviously he keeps this good form up for the remainder of the season. This has been reported in The Athletic. Conor Gallagher's price could come down to around 50 million if he's not signed a new contract by the end of the season. Although Chelsea sources point to the 60 million package Mason Mount commanded, with his contract also ticking down last year. I'd be shocked if we got a 60 million package for Conor Gallagher with just a year left on the contract. I think it's more likely to be in the 40 to 50 million pound range with a year left on the contract. Maybe 50, 55 all in tops. But yeah, look, it's a tough one. What do you want to pass on to a close friend of mine who knows somebody on the Chelsea board? Just tell him to sort Conor's contract out. But yeah, no, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Exactly. There's room for all 4 midfielders to have a deep squad and plenty of games to go around. Yeah, there is room for all of them. This is the thing. It's not like we're lacking space and we need to shift some of them on. There's room. There's room. There's room. It's not like we're overrun there. Injury, suspensions, multiple competitions. There's going to be plenty of minutes to go around. Do you like Conor Gallagher? Yeah, I do like him. He gives everything for the team. He's playing well this season. There's nothing not to like. Would you rather keep Poch or bring in Mourinho? To be honest, as much as the Mourinho thing is romantic and it'd be a great story, I think the reality is different. Look, I'd like Poch to do well, and I want him to do well. So yeah, I would. Yeah, I would stick with him. If that was the choice. Obviously, providing that he deserves to stay and does well enough. I don't get this ownership. I don't get why they want to sell Gallagher. He is an important player for us. Well, they want to sell him because of money. That's why. How much would Chalobah worth in the summer? Oh, look, in theory, Chalobah at 24 years of age, versatile, can play right back, centre back, and defensive midfield. You know, with 5 or 6 years left on his contract, you would expect that to be a £50 million player. But the reality is he hasn't kicked a ball since last season competitively. And his value, I don't see how we could get absolute push. We might get 30 million all in for him. But that's the reality. That is the reality. That is the reality. I'd sell Carney too. I wouldn't sell him. I'm a big fan of Carney. I really like him. Really like him. Yeah, I think he might do. He's going to have to. Otherwise, it's just going to be a depreciating asset. It's going to be a depreciating asset. I'd sell Carney to fund money for better players in the squad. Look, I don't think Carney is someone that I would be looking to sell personally. Not for me. We need a deep squad for Europe. Yeah, we absolutely do. No, he shouldn't be sold. Oh, yeah, of course. If it was sell Chukwuemeka and that means that Osimhen comes in, then yeah, I think most people would do that. But obviously, yeah, football never works like that. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. At the moment, we are basing it on what ifs or maybes. Oh yeah. Should Thiago Silva start in the final? I don't know. It's a really difficult question. I would say with the pace of your Salahs or your Diaz's and your Gakpos and Jotas, I'd probably say no. But then an experience in a big final, you sort of want him. It's a difficult situation, but I'd be moving more towards probably not as difficult a decision as that might be. That is what I'd be leaning towards. But yeah, anyway, that's that bit on Gallagher. I've got to round out in about 10 minutes or so. But yes. What else was there being said on the Gallagher thing? And then I'll quickly move on to a couple of other bits. And there's a bit more here. Reece James has returned to light training after undergoing hamstring surgery in December. That's fine. We knew that anyway. They're wary about rushing him back to action. Yep. Let me just quickly find the last bit on the Gallagher thing. It was something about potential contract demands, and then we will move on. Let me just find it. Oh, there's so much to fucking scroll through here. That's not it. Conor Gallagher is seeking contract terms that are similar to those of Moises Caicedo, who is believed to be earning roughly 150 grand a week. So he's looking at similar terms. So look, I think Gallagher would sign for 110, 115, maybe 120. Yeah. Guys, I'm going to get to this. Hold on. How much money do you think we'll sell Broja for in the summer? Well, if it's a good loan spell at Fulham and bags a few goals, maybe we can get that 30, 35 million pounds, what we were looking for in the summer. Sorry, not in the summer, in January. Maybe we can get that, but I don't see much more than that. No, they're absolutely in this to win. You don't spend that amount of money on a football club and you want to get a return on your investment. The quickest way to make money in football is by winning. So they absolutely want to win. But the bottom line is they're also very focused on the future and they want to, and like obviously profit is part of that as well. But yeah, what else was I looking at? Let's have a quick look at what was being said on this. That's London first. Let me just find this now. No, I can't remember where this comes up. Let me try and find it. What is it? What is the Twitter again? Is it just Max? Max London's first? Oh, there we go. Right, let's have a quick look at this. Let me bring it up on the screen now. Very quickly. De Zerbi has been critical of Brighton, but was positive about Sam Jewell, who might join Chelsea. Chelsea already have Colwell, Caicedo, and higher-ups believe in Mudryk when Pochettino doesn't. We also have Win Stanley, of course. Are we going to see De Zerbi as manager next season? I'm slightly starting to think the only way Mudryk can succeed here and play regularly will be under De Zerbi, as he was the one who managed him at Shakhtar and believes he can be a Ballon d'Or winner. Look, I don't know. Look, I think it's very difficult to be talking about replacing a manager when we've still got a manager that's in post. We've still got a manager that's in post. But look, it's clear that if Chelsea are operating like a serious football club, like they should, if there are any sort of doubts over Pochettino's position, then they'll already be looking at options. They'll have a shortlist and they'll maybe sounding people out that if there were to be a parting of ways at the end of the season, would you be, interested in taking the job? I think that much is absolutely clear. Look, De Zerbi, good manager, has worked with a few of the Chelsea players before. Had an exceptional season with Caicedo last season. Knows Levi Colwell. We've got obviously knows Mikhailo Mudryk very well, having managed him at Shakhtar Donetsk. Really, really believes in him. Guys, 4 more likes to 80. Let's get this to 80 likes. Come on, people. But in terms of, look, I like De Zerbi, but again, would he be a good fit at Chelsea? I don't know the answer to that. That's the reality. I don't have the answers to those questions. I think he's a good manager. I think he will manage a top football club, whether it's in the Premier League, whether it's abroad. There won't be a shortage of suitors for Roberto De Zerbi. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens, on that front. I just don't know. I'm just not sure on him entirely. I think there's ability there. I think there's talent there. But ultimately, he probably is ready for the step up to a big club. I think that's clear. But again, it would be a gamble. You wouldn't really know how he's going to do. Yes, he's guided Brighton to the knockout stages of the Europa League, which is great. They had a very good season last season. Not as good this season. But again, he'd sort of fit the bill as another one who's kind of good at developing young players, getting the most out of players. It's gonna be an interesting one. I don't know for certain. I don't know for certain what it's going to be like, what he's going to do. But yeah, look, I think he's someone that will be on the shortlist for a lot of clubs in the summer that are going to be looking for a new manager. But we don't know. I don't know if we're going to be looking for a new manager. I think, look, if we win the Carabao Cup, then Poch will be here next season. I think that's absolutely clear. And I would agree that we do need, personally for Chelsea and for the longevity of the club and for the way that we're trying to move forward, I think we absolutely we have to, by hook or by crook, get to the end of the season with Pochettino. And ideally, providing he does well enough, whether he qualifies us for Europe or gets us a trophy or whatever, then we need to stick with him because more upheaval is not going to be helpful for us at all. It's not going to be helpful. But yeah, look, I don't dislike De Zerbi, but ultimately, right now, I'm not thinking about other managers coming in. My focus is on the manager right now, and for him to improve the results, do better, continue to improve, and that's what my focus is on. I'm not thinking about another manager. Yeah, of course, it's easy to get sucked into that cycle and whatnot, and think about another manager. But yeah, for me, I'm not I'm not looking. I'm not actively thinking about. Oh, I wonder who the next manager is going to be. That is that's not for me right now. And a manager alone is not the problem either. He absolutely isn't. Yeah, he's obviously, he needs to improve, and potentially he is a small part of the issue, sure. But the issues run much deeper than who is sat in the dugout. Guys, 3 more likes to 80. Let's get there. Keep smashing the like button. Run it up, people. It's free and it takes seconds. And yeah, I would really appreciate it. I would massively appreciate it. I suspect if Daniele De Rossi that continues doing well, then he'll probably be offered the job on a more permanent basis. But yeah, return to Serie A maybe. I could see him doing a good job at Barcelona. Again, financially, they're kind of hamstrung in how much they can offer managers. I don't think De Zerbi commands an awful lot of money compared to other choices out there. But yeah, look, the managerial situation is going to be very interesting come the summer. It's going to be interesting to see who ends up going where. But look, ultimately, I don't think Poch. If the only way Pochettino doesn't go anywhere, the only way Pochettino leaves for me is if we get heavily beaten in the cup final, we get knocked out of the FA Cup, and we don't finish in the we don't get any European football. But if we win the cup final, he stays. I think if we qualify for any form of European football, he will also stay. So for me, it's if we miss out on Europe altogether, then I think there's a high chance he goes. But other than that, I that's the only way I can see him leaving is if we miss out on Europe completely. This is it. This is absolutely it. Like, if you're going to go down this project route and recruit the way that we've recruited and do what we're doing, then you have to accept that this is going to be part of it. It's going to be issues. We're going to struggle. That's the reality of the situation. So you either stick with the project and accept there's going to be ups and downs and there's going to be difficult periods, or you abandon the project and you go for a different approach and you change the manager sort of every couple of seasons. You can't say that you're here for a long-term project and you're changing the manager every 6 or 7 months. Literally makes zero sense whatsoever. It makes no sense at all, and that needs to be changed. Xabi Alonso for me is the only manager I want. We won't get Alonso. My bet, if I had to bet now on what Xabi Alonso is going to do, I personally feel he stays 1 more year at Leverkusen, and then when Carlo Ancelotti's contract's up at the end of next season, Xabi Alonso will be Real Madrid manager in 2026. That's what I think. It's simple. The moment's Chelsea will regret signing Kepa. Yeah, guys, run the likes up. We're on 80 now. Let's try and reach 90. I'm going to go for another couple minutes, and I've got to head out. So let's see on the situation, people. Let's see on the situation. What I have heard, Sam Jewell, yeah, I think he'd be good as well. Out of all of you lot, who would have taken Ange Postecoglou? Look, I think at the time, I think we would have said it was underwhelming for sure. I think there would have been a lot of outrage about it. So yeah, look, it's easy to say now because he's doing reasonably well at Spurs, but I still think that Pochettino is a better manager than Ange. Let's see how Ange does, for the rest of this season. Let's see how he does next season. It's quite, I don't say it's easy, but you see a lot of managers come in and have a good first season. The second season for me is the telling point. I kind of set this crap project, actually despise his owners of the passion. Fair enough. Yeah, of course. But yeah, guys, let's have a look if there is anything else happening at the moment. Let's have a quick look. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Let's just have a quick look to see if there's any more news. Doesn't look like there is. Guys, I am going to round this one out here. Of course, we would have been mad about Ange, but that's our director's job, is to appoint the right guy. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, if Poch were to be sacked, how can How can we, as a fan base, have any faith in these directors to actually go and appoint the right person? We can't. We can't. So look, ultimately, you've got to put your trust in the directors and you've got to back the manager. I will always back the manager, whoever it is that's in the dugout, but I will also be critical and call things out where things need to improve. And that's the way it has to be for me. That is the way it has to be for me. But guys, I'm going to round this one out. I've got to shoot out. Make sure big yourselves up. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in tonight. It's greatly appreciated. Always enjoy interacting with you guys. The streams aren't the same without you. So big yourselves up. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you smash the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you're new around here as well. 8 p.m. guys, in an hour and 45 minutes. Match preview will be dropping on the channel with Nina. Talking all things the City game and Chelsea in general. Make sure you tune into that one at 8 p.m. Uploading on the channel 8 p.m. So yeah, make sure you check that one out. Smash the likes on the way out. Please get them up. Subscribe if you're new around here. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Love for the support as always, guys. And I will catch you lot tomorrow night. Man City preview stream and any more Chelsea news. I'll be back tomorrow with that. Love for the support, as I said, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. And I will catch up with you lot again tomorrow. Up the Chelsea and peace out, people.